And now with the Ambassador of Republic of Philippines wife, Mrs. Cersila Coviado.
Thank you. Is it okay if I sit? Is it okay if I sit down? I joined my husband, the ambassador, Sulpicio Miguel Confiado, in thanking the officers of this federation for this privilege to be here and to address you as well. I don't know if I have a totally different perspective. We'll see. We join the whole world in celebrating Women's Month.
أضم صوتي إلى صوت دولة السفير سولبيشيو ميغيل كونفيادو حيث أشكر مسؤولي الاتحاد على فرصة وجودنا هنا والتحدث معكم فنحن نشارك العالم في الاحتفال بشهر المرأة.
I wish to share that in my country, the Philippines, mothers especially play a very important role in the home, in our hearts, and in our families, and in our communities.
أود أن أعلمكم أنه في بلدي الفلبين للنساء خاصة أمهاتنا مكانة خاصة للغاية في قلوبنا في عائلتنا وفي مجتمعاتنا.
My mentor was my late mother, Trinidad. She was a teacher by profession, but she easily gave up her career whenever it was called on her because my father worked in the judiciary and we had to go from city to city, and so she went with him while raising 8 children.
كانت والدتي الواحدة تريداد قدوتي، كانت تعمل معلمة، وكانت وظيفتها الأولى والوحيدة حتى قبل أن تتزوج والدي بونيفاسيو الذي كان آنذاك يمارس المحاماة. ونظرا لأنها كرست نفسها لدعوتها التعليمية فقد قامت بتربية كل واحد منا أطفالها الثانوية ببراعة، مما يضمن الاهتمام باحتياجاتنا الأساسية.
So I guess you can say that I followed in her footsteps because when it was time for me to give up my career, I packed up my bags and went with my husband to go on foreign assignment, leaving my career behind. And to think, I was earning more than he was. In fact, I had this image or a sense of being the provider in the family because he was in government service and I was in the private sector running my own consulting company. So I kept on saying to myself, I am the provider because I put food on the table. I sent my son to school. I paid the driver, I paid everything. And I told him, don't worry, Dad. You can keep your salary as your allowance. But then, you see, sorry, Dina, it's not in the script. But then you see, it was not difficult for me to give up that career, even if it was a high-paying job. But I have to admit, I cried for 6 months in our first year in India because I had no more income, no more position, because I was the president of my company and I had to leave everything behind. But then I realized that my vocation, my calling in life was to be a wife to my husband, a mother to our son, and to be the homemaker, to create the dwelling place for our family to grow. And as you can see, I think that is a special role for women, not only in Philippine society, but I guess in Egyptian society as well. Do you agree? Yes. So we women play multiple roles and multiple tasks. In fact, we have been doing this from time eternal, even before they conceived of the concept of multiple roles and multiple tasks. I remember when I attended the United Nations Conference for Women in Beijing in 1995. I was a member of the government panel because I was doing consulting work for the Committee on Women in the House of Representatives in the country, in our country. And I was there when they declared that women's rights are human rights. Do you agree? Women's rights are human rights. And I guess from my perspective, I didn't feel that oppression or being a second-class citizen in my country. Because in the Philippines, we have raised 2 president women, we have vice presidents, we have Supreme Court justices, we have minister cabinet secretaries, we have lawyers and doctors and all professions practiced by women. From the time I grew up, it was there. So, as you can see, women have never played a secondary role in our country. We have many women ambassadors in the Foreign Service, and it's, as they say, it's a way of life. It is not something that we had to, fight for? At least my generation. I remember a story about the mother of our national hero, the one that Ambassador Confiado was talking about earlier, who passed by the Suez Canal. You know, she had 11 children, and she became a widow at a very young age. So she had to raise her 11 children, run a business, run a farm, send her children to school. And at one time, she had to walk 50 kilometers to defend the land where she had a farm to protect her family. And she had to endure what her son sacrificed. So this kind of endurance, this kind of sacrifice from the women in my country has been there for a long time. And before I end, I would also like to say that we've had 4 Miss Universe. So I guess the women in my country are also beautiful, like the women in Egypt, huh? We've had 4 Miss Universe: Gloria Diaz, Margie Moran, Pia Wurzbach, and the latest is Catriona Gray. And I don't know how many more Miss Universe there can be. So may I just conclude by saying that women is not only the light of the family, but women are the heart